Yo, this is your boy from KGTV. I'm your boy KG. We'll have a special treat for you today. A YouTuber, fresh off the street, the dopest MC in KC. My boy, my brother, my nigga, Mack Malone.
What's poppin'?
Now, Mack, you've
What's up?
been out on these YouTube streets for a while. Tell them what the game about, and tell what the game is really about.
Unfortunately, the game is about fucking exposure and numbers and marketing. To me, it's always been about the music, though. But that's what it's all about. It's all about growing your channel and growing your reach and expanding your name and your brand. That's what it's all about.
Now, tell the people how long you've been out there, bro.
I have been doing music for 31 years, since 1991 when I was 11 years old.
The dopest MC in Kansas City. Check him out.
You know, I've been doing it for a while, you know. I grew up in, I'm a first generation MC, so I grew up in the 70s. I was born in 79, grew up in the 80s, so I was there from the beginning of hip hop, you know. So I've seen it all. I'm all about the culture, and I've watched the way hip hop has evolved, what it's become, you know.
Yeah, today's hip hop.
We never had the internet and YouTube back then. You know, we always had to physically press up. Well, we used to record cassette tapes.
Oh, you hear that, Justin Bieber? No, YouTube. We did it from the trunk. Pop that trunk with a tape, my brother. Pop that trunk.
We recorded cassette tapes, and we would have to go and pass them out. We'd go sit at Kinko's all night and make flyers and copies. It's a lot different. You know, we couldn't just go up and post something online. We had to physically print the flyers and then take them out and give them to people physically and pass it around ourselves. We couldn't just push a button and have it, you know, do it for us like you can do now.
Oh, yes. I remember those days when we did the shows at Thaddeus Church. Now, remember those days, Mac?
Everywhere I walked around, I had a pocket full of cassette tapes.
Oh, yes.
My pockets bulging like I had backpacks of cassette tape. Everywhere I went, I took them with me and I passed them out to everybody. Now you can just upload a song to YouTube and spam a link.
Yeah, make sure it's a right link, not to no Pornhub link when you upload the stuff. You heard me?
I don't know what he's talking about, but you know.
But Mac,
what's up?
Tell me, what made you become a revolutionary?
Oh man, my upbringing, you know, being that I was raised in the hip hop culture, that's what turned me on to the revolutionary aspect of hip hop and what hip hop was supposed to be. Growing up, I saw a lot of gimmicks and things, and I started seeing the agendas that the government was pushing on people, and I had an understanding of what this was supposed to be, you know. And then of course, you know, coming into your family, having that revolutionary and that Panther influence was really taught, you know, what really means something out here. You know, all this shit that people are glorifying doesn't mean shit at the end of the day. You know, I became all about the community, all about the people, because that's what matters. You know, your chain, nobody gives a damn about how big your chain is. Right. You know what I mean? Just the influences around me in hip hop is what made me become a revolutionary, because I understood what it was, and then I was there from the beginning. So I grew up with Cool G Rap and Cool Mo D, Busy B, you know, the original New York MCs, Dougie Fresh, Curtis Blow, you know, White Lines. You know, if you go back to the beginning of hip hop, you will see that that's what it was all about. It was truly all about a message to the people. White Lines was a message about the drug abuse that was going on. If you go and look, I saw a picture of Harlem in 1980. It's just, the whole city was vacant. I mean, the windows, all the buildings were busted out. It just looked like a war zone.
But was it true? Before Harlem became a war zone, it was known as the Harlem Renaissance, where artists left or right came in, got together, shows. It was kind of like the Black Wall Street in hip hop.
Yeah, but it was also overtaken by the crack epidemic and all the drugs. And you see that. You literally see streets covered in trash so much that you can't even really see the street. Broken glass everywhere. All the buildings are busted out, abandoned. It looks a lot different than it does today. But that was the environment that people grew up in. The originators, the godfathers of hip hop, DJ Kool Herc and all them, they came up in that. You look around and it's just shit everywhere. You go outside, it's rubble. Everybody's broke. Everybody's starving. You know, hip hop was a revolutionary movement to go against the establishment. That was the way that we rebelled.
No, as the government.
We got together. We started locking these blocks down and throwing parties and making our presence known. You know, the Panthers were a big part of that. You know, the Panthers were a big influence in the beginning of hip hop.
Established in 1968, I think.
They was out there. And it became the people against the government. You know, and the government was scared shitless. That's why they started locking up. You know, you've heard the story of Afeni Shakur and Matulu, and you know, they went and rounded them up to what would have been known as maybe like an early RICO. What we know as a RICO today was what, you know, that's what that was.
Tekashi, learn RICO. The Panthers did not snitch like you did.
That was That was what is known as a RICO today, but back then there was no RICO. Back then they're just like, let's round these motherfuckers up and get rid of them. But it was done in the same fashion that a RICO was done. They took out the heads, you know, rounded everybody else up. Unfortunately, you know, you probably had a lot of the cooperating and all the other shit that goes on with that.
Rest in peace, Huey Newton.
Huey Newton, man. Yeah.
Bobby Seale. Angela Davis.
And it's crazy because, you know, people looking at me like, oh, this white boy talking about black hip hop culture and Black Panthers. Let me tell you, I'm well versed in this shit. Like, I can have the conversation with the best of them. I've actually sat down and had a conversation with Freeway Ricky Ross. You know, I got pictures with him, met him a couple times. At one point, I was entertaining signing with his label. You know, things didn't work out. But my point is that I am at that point where I understand this culture enough that I can have conversations with people like that. You know what I mean? Right. And you see me today still spreading that message. And that's what I've been doing. You know, it's hard because everybody sleeps on it. Everybody nowadays is blinded by this government bullshit, and they're all out for themselves. They just don't care.
They candy this stuff up, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's not that they're ignorant to it. It's just that they don't care. You know, they don't give a fuck about what's going on in the community. What they care about is themselves. They care about that new pair of Jordans. They care about the you know, being selfish. They don't care about the people. You know what I mean?
And those new Jordans getting robbed. But you know, Mac, you educated me about the Winchesters, or the was it not the Winchesters, but they were part of the Liberation Front and the Black Panthers. And they were like
the Black Liberation Army.
No, it's not them, but a whole bunch of Caucasians that was with the Black Panthers.
Well, yeah, I mean, you had some of that, but the government was against that. Like, they were locking up anybody that supported the movement, you know. So how long have you been running? 8 minutes. We're just talking.
Now,
you're good.
Now, with that he's saying, do you get the stereotype? Oh, another white rapper, or this boy couldn't rap because he's white.
Oh well, of course. I mean, well, today it's not as much of a commodity as it used to be. Back then, you know, there were no other. When I started, I was the only white kid I knew that rapped. Literally, everybody's, you're white, you ain't supposed to do that. I didn't know any other white rappers. I didn't know, you know, you had the Beastie Boys, Vanilla Ice came out when I started. That's when I started, was at 1991. That's when Vanilla Ice came out.
You forgot one back in the 80s, man.
Are you back in the 80s? Who are you talking about?
Rapping Rodney, no respect.
Come on, man.
No, you know, he was a comedian. He did set off white rappers with no respect.
Okay.
I'll give him his props.
I'll give you that. But the first white rappers to ever make a mark is the Beastie Boys. period.
True, and they also
on that kind of scale. Then Vanilla Ice. You had Third Base. You had MC Serch. There was a few white rappers, but not like it is today. I mean, dude, I could walk down the street and stop 10 people and 8 of them rap. Back in the day, it meant something to be a rapper. There was not a lot of rappers. There was not a lot of rappers at all, and it wasn't oversaturated like it is now.
So is that why instead of using the word rappers today, you're more of a what they call a lyricist or artist?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's always been about the message. It's all about lyricism, okay? It's not about beats. It's not about shaking your ass. It's not about partying. It's all about the message. Hip-hop is a platform to speak to the people. That's what it was supposed to be. It's not, you jam in the club to go get high to. It's a platform to speak to the people. What you release is supposed to be meaningful. What you release is supposed to touch lives. Knowledge, okay? The problem is a lot of the shit that's being released today is ignorance.
Right.
Back in the day, everything was based on knowledge. Look at all the old, like even when hip hop started, when it was about the party, you had the Fat Boys, you had
Grandmaster Flash,
you had Dougie Fresh, right?
LL
but
Cool J.
Even the party records had messages.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's what it was about. It was about, we can make this big and draw attention to this community and elevate our community. Because the more people you rally together, then the government starts taking notice of this. Then you got the support. It's just like signing a petition.
Right.
They're not going to back some shit with 10 people standing around.
Free Matulu.
Free Matulu for sure, man. He was, last I heard, he was sick. I don't know. He hasn't been doing too well. So I don't know, man.
Oh, by the way, to y'all ratchets who didn't give us our letters, just shout out to y'all ratchets. We want our letters with Matulu's signature.
Yeah, we wrote letters to Matulu because we support. You know what I mean? And Matulu was a big influence to us. Tupac was a big influence to us. That whole family was a big influence to us. And so we wrote him letters. God. 2 years ago.
No, it was more.
Was it more than that?
Hell to the yeah.
3 years ago?
Hell no, it's 4. I was counting 4, money, nigga, 4.
It might have been 4 years ago. But we actually wrote letters to Matulu, and the fucking feds intercepted the letters.
Yeah, the feds. It's the government. It's the government.
So it is what it is, man. They're all about suppression. The government's all about suppression and keeping the people suppressed. So it's not any shock to me that they're withholding this man's mail. They're probably withholding this man's food. They're doing all kind of foul shit. They don't respect the political prisoners. Mumia Abu-Jamal, he's been locked up like an animal. Last I saw about him, he was going blind and he was damn near dead. And, it's a shame. Look in Chicago when they took Larry Hoover. That was the biggest mistake the government did because, let me explain that. When Larry Hoover and King David was in the picture, there was structure. Right? The disciple nations were together at one point. The gangster disciples and the black disciples, they were just called the disciple nation. Larry and King David were the leaders of the different factions.
Right.
Now, the gangs had structures. Now, when it was first formed, it was formed to protect the community.
Right.
You know what I mean? To protect the rights of the people. The gang was basically like the police of the neighborhood. You didn't call the police. You ran down the street and you grabbed the gangster disciples, or you went in and you ran and you grabbed in Cali, the Crips. Were originally designed to protect the neighborhood. So you didn't run to the police. You ran to the gang, and the gang protected you in the neighborhood. If there was something wrong, the gang would come and sort that shit out. The cops were not involved. So when they airlifted Larry Hoover out of Chicago, now look at it. There's chaos everywhere. There's no structure. The disciple nation is torn apart. The GDBD war has been going on for 15 years.
Plus.
All them people are dead. So these people were leaders, but they were good for the community. And that's what the government did not understand. If they did understand, maybe they did understand that. And that's the reason why, they went to take them out, because they were creating an agenda against the government wants chaos. The government doesn't want control in the neighborhood. They want control of the neighborhood, right? But they want the neighborhood to be in chaos. They want you to kill each other. They want drugs everywhere, because guess what? They're the ones buying them fucking drugs and dumping it into your community. Right? Mm-hmm. So when you go and you sell these drugs, guess what they do? They seize these drugs, they throw you in prison, which they get paid to put you in prison. Then they redistribute the drugs, and they keep getting paid over and over and over again for the same fucking batch of drugs.
It's a cycle.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that was a big turning part. And if you look at Chicago now, it's all, you could trace it all the way back to them taking Larry Hoover out of Chicago.
Yeah, well, that's where the Great War of '72 happened too, at the same year. When,
there's still war going on, and it's a damn shame, man. And then you got the media and everybody glorifying the gang culture and glorifying the ignorance. These major record labels that are supposed to be responsible labels are putting this shit out with that agenda to get you to act stupid, so they can put you in jail, so they can throw you in prison for the rest of your life and get paid off of you. They get paid to keep the prisons full. Mm. Now, how do they influence the kids? They throw this damn music out there. The music influences. See, you gotta open your eyes to this shit, man. It's a lot deeper than that. There's a reason why the gay, nothing against gay people, whatever, but there's a reason why they're pushing this gay agenda. They're trying to demasculize the male. They're trying to strip us of our masculinity, and they're doing it, and they've been doing it. There's only a few cut from that cloth left, and you know what they want to do to us? The ones that are left, they want to kill us. Because we're the ones that are still out here trying to alert people to what's going on. They're trying to silence us. And people like me, people like, these political leaders we're talking about. People who understand the foundation and what is supposed to be taking place out here. They understand that. They're trying to take us out. Because they don't want our voices to be heard. They don't want your voices to be heard unless you're preaching their agenda. Now look at these major labels. The only artists that they release are the artists that are preaching their agenda. Right?
Correct.
Artists that are glorifying drugs, artists that are glorifying guns, artists that are glorifying negativity, they're preaching that shit. And they're pushing that shit. And you and everybody, the consumers, well, I say you, I mean the consumers, are eating it up.
Kind of like, for instance, Gunner and Young Thug. Oh, yes, Mr. Tuxedo. It's not Tuxedo on Young Thug, it's a dress.
I have no idea what's going on with that, man. I just know...
no, we ain't wearing no dresses. No.
I don't know, man. Yeah, when I saw... Yeah, I don't really... I don't know, man. All I do know is that, they're trying to put Ricos on everybody. And you're going to keep seeing more Ricos in the hip-hop community.
R. Kelly.
R. Kelly.
Yeah, that's a different story, but that's still Rico.
I'm torn with R. Kelly because I feel like he did what he did, so he should be punished for that. But at the same time, I feel like there's really not a lot of evidence. I mean, you have the tape, but I don't know, man. I don't know. You know what? I ain't even going to speak on that because I'm not going to open up that can of worms.
No, we're not opening up that Pandora box.
I feel like R. Kelly should be held accountable for what he did. However, I think it's going beyond that. I think the whole situation's being manipulated and he's being misrepresented. And he never had a fair shot. That's all I'm saying. He never had a fair shot.
Right.
So...
One last question, Matt.
Yeah.
Yo, I've been checking your Facebook page out. You got some dope material, man. Some dope content. So, where are you going with this? Are you going to go more into the music, the journalism, the MC swag? I mean, you know.
Well, here's my thing is like this, man. I'm about everybody. So, you know, there's people that don't like rap music. I make hip hop. I don't even like calling it rap music because my shit is obviously not rap music.
Right, check them out.
I make music, but the music that I make is not a popular form of music. It is the rawest form. It is hip hop the way it was intended. However, not everybody's into that. You know? True. So I'm trying to release different content. Like I got the KC journalist stuff that I'm doing, which are stories about the city.
Check it out.
It's dope.
It's dope.
I have my comedy sketches. I do comedy sketches. So my YouTube is youtube.com/Mack Malone 816 MackMalone 816 is a one-stop shop. I have studio footage. I have show footage. I have music videos. I have journalism videos, sketch comedy. Everything I've pretty much done in recent years is on that YouTube. I have blogs, I have stories, I have, eventually I'm going to get interviews going on there. So make sure you check that out, like and subscribe. And just a little something for everybody. And I'm sure that I'm coming up with something that I have an idea. I don't even really want to speak on it, but it's going to be something to engage everybody. It's going to be more or less, if I had to narrow it down, more or less like a trivia show that I'm going to do live on YouTube with cash prizes and things for people cooperating.
Did you say trivia?
Man, I know you're going to make me spill it, man.
So is it called Name That 304?
Hey, it's called Name Whatever Fucking Question I Ask You.
Or Name That Dot.
Basically, what I want to do is engage the audience and give, you know, people are selfish naturally, right?
Human nature.
So, you know, people attach to you when they see opportunity. My thing is this, like, I want to present opportunity for somebody. Like, you know, I want to give you a reason to tune in. So it's basically going to be like a trivia show. And you're going to be, you know, it is what it is, you know. You're going to be asked questions, and if you get them right, there will be prizes, you know, whether it be, you know, features for me or beats or cash apps or money, cash, anything, you know, whatever I'm giving out that night. I'm planning on doing something like that, but I'm trying to grow the channel enough that I can get enough people involved. I've actually never went live on my YouTube. So maybe that's something I need to start doing.
Something you need to think about, a live stream.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at with it, man. When I talk about my Black Panther family, this is my brother. You see what I'm saying? You see the beret. Mama was just in here too. You know, like everything that you hear from me is real. Everything I say, I've either done or seen, or I've done it. I mean, I've done it.
Dr. Dre, been there, done that. We all have been there. We all have done that.
You know, and when that story came out, a lot of people were like, "What?" But it's real. This is my brother right here. You know what I mean? So,
and for life.
And we're gonna keep pushing this agenda, man, because like they got their agenda, we got ours.
Right.
You know, but our agenda is an agenda of freedom, an agenda of real choice.
Real choice, positive.
You know, basically we're the truth, and we're telling you the truth, and they're lying to you. So you just got to choose who you're going to believe and who you're going to run with. You know what I mean?
So hopefully, Mac, we're going to do more collabs.
That's right. This is actually my first kind of like half interview I've ever done. You know what I mean? I don't have any interviews on my YouTube.
Well, guess what? It's a learning process for you. It's a learning process for me. You know, it's a learning process for everybody. Change is good. You know?
That's right.
Word.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you having me.
And that'll come
we'll
back.
Get up out of here.
You know, this is my boy Mack Malone representing YouTube streets, Kansas City, but he got much love for the flock, baby. The flock.
You see that, right?
This is KG from KGTV. Sign out. Peace.